Semua Afrik, sian Afrik, Afrika. Jangan kontinai kuat, ikut tuyuk kecebut dan mereka nam Afrika. Juga aksi kau lenyak ke faida, bergenggur sana nanyu mana gendek.
No comments. No comments.
It's not by chance that Africa is a woman's name. 80% of the work falls to them, on their backs. It is African women who raise the children, who stay behind when they leave. It is because of them that this complex web of ethnic groups, languages, and mixed races is maintained in spite of the many difficulties. If the women should slip and fall, Africa would fall apart. On the Bijagos Islands of Guinea-Bissau, in addition to bearing the burden of the hardest jobs, the women have real power.
What good does it do to be queen? Nobody obeys you anymore. The other queen didn't die of old age, but of boredom. I don't want the same thing to happen to me. If I'm the one chosen, things are going to change.
The Queen of Kanago Island died 3 months ago. 3 women have been chosen to enter the final selection process. Today, the 3 candidates will be announced. But none of them appear to want to be queen. Times are changing. The role of the queen on the Bijagos Islands is crucial. There is a king who concerns himself with men's matters, and a queen who works with the women. But this queen is not the king's wife. She holds an independent post. Women are the true political and social driving force on the Bijagos Islands. They are the owners of the land they work and act with a great deal of independence in relationships and sexual matters. The children belong to them, and it is unusual for them to spend more than 2 years with the same man.
Coordinating with the women isn't easy. They always think they're right. And it's impossible to argue because in the end, they will impose their will. When there was 1 queen, I had a problem. Now with 3 queens, I have 3 problems.
This is our power. This is our weapon. We breastfeed our children, and it will be our daughters who feed our grandchildren.
The case of the Bijagos Islands is an exception in rural Africa. On the rest of the continent, institutions such as polygamy and arranged marriages are still the norm. But it is also more normal to find women who bravely challenge this. Others face it with resignation. This is the case of Sia Chenta in Mali.
Farouk began to get dressed up when he came home from work and spent more time away from home than before. I asked him about it, and he always told me he was at a friend's house. but in the village, people said that he was looking for a second wife. When he spoke to me directly, I told him, "Fine, that's okay. If it really is good for the family and for your happiness, it's fine."
There were several underlying reasons that led me to decide to take a second wife. There are times when the first wife gets sick, or for example, when she has given birth. You can't sleep with her for at least a year and a half in case she gets pregnant again. What do I do then? I'm not an adulterer, and I don't want to become one. The second reason is love, which for me is also very important. And yes, there's something of love in this decision.
Furud treats Sia very well because she's his first wife, but I'm younger, and I know that it's me he loves. My husband didn't get another wife because he was tired of me. On the contrary, since Natat arrived, my relationship with Furud has gotten better. I'm the older sister, and it's normal for me to be my husband's favorite.
If you ask them, I don't know what they'll say, but there's no favorite. I think they wouldn't like it very much to know that neither one of them is my favorite, since the number one woman in my life has always been my mother.
At the other extreme, that of rebellious women, we find our next protagonist. Rahel Girma is 23 years old, and until the age of 16 she lived in Harar, a small primarily Muslim city in eastern Ethiopia. At that age, she was to have married an uncle of her father's, who, according to the dictates of tradition, had arranged this marriage when she was still a little girl. Rahel never accepted the agreement, and when the time for her wedding approached, she fled to Addis Ababa, where she works in a bar in the city center. At present, she is going out with one of the waiters in the bar.
Okay, this is my uncle. Before he come in the house, he bring me presents. One day my parents are sleeping. I get up in the morning. I left my home. I take a taxi. I go to the radio. I take rain. I'm coming at this. After if I saw this, the city is very big and beautiful. I think myself I'm free. After I have little money, I must go in hotel. I find a job. After I get this restaurant, Milk Coast restaurant, we work each other one guy. One day he asked me to invite to me. We go together and we make a relationship. Now we live together. He helped me. And I love him.
Ethiopia is a Christian island surrounded by Muslim countries. Harar is an island within an island, a Muslim city set in the center of Ethiopian Christianity. Harar is a devout and ancient city where tradition rejects the pull of modernity. A city in which arranged marriages are still an entrenched tradition.
I will never allow my daughter to return. If anything keeps the family and the community united, it is tradition. She has betrayed this and made her family look ridiculous.